Going live.
Let me be your nerd. Let me be your nerd now. I say it, baby, 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 baby.
What the hell was that?
Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Podcast, episode 44. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And today, we don't have Kirsten with us today. She's actually had to bow out for the night, but we have a special guest for you, our brother from another podcast, the host of the Absolute Geek Podcast himself. Please welcome Matt.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Woo, hey.
I thought I was going to get to cosplay Kristen this week. And
I know.
You got to have a
my
killer
wig
wig.
ready and everything. I still have my penguin wig ready to go. I was going to just cosplay Kristen.
Nice.
Got upset.
See? That would have worked. The green hair, the whole bit.
Green and
She's
purple.
Let's go. Walking the two-tone now, right?
Yeah.
Green and purple. Yeah.
It didn't work quite like she wanted, but yeah, that was the intention. It was
Nice.
purple down to a lighter blue to like a turquoise, and it just
I could pull it off.
looked black and green.
Yes, I bet you could do it. I bet you could do it, Matt. You could pull that off. Guys, thank you, everybody who's joining us. Real quick before we get started, I want to point out we've got a lot more downloads recently, so there's a lot more people listening to us here on Stitcher. I don't know about iTunes because they don't give us numbers, but welcome all you.
Mike has the voice for radio.
That's right,
and the face for radio.
The
voice
exactly.
of an angel.
I know. We get about 50 people watch us on Facebook. About 500 listen to us. So they've chosen what they'd rather listen to us than see us, and I can't blame them. But if you are listening on Stitcher and you want to see our faces, you can check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/thegrizzlegeek, I believe. Hey, Charlie Tango's in this chat. How you doing, Charlie?
I mean, after that awesome intro, everybody should be watching you on
They
YouTube.
totally should be. I mean, let us be your nerd. That's all I'm saying. Well, guys, want to kick off real quick. We'll talk about what we've all been doing here with the Arizona's number one. We're number one, guys. I mean, It's very, very rare we get to be number one in the nation, but apparently we are. Unfortunately, it's for COVID cases. So
Is that after Florida set a new record today?
yeah, I mean we're number one as of yesterday. Yeah, today it might be different. So
We're gonna duke it out with Florida for
exactly. How many people cannot wear masks? That's the question. Although speaking of masks, we're now half mandatory. I guess we're like Phoenix just voted today to do mandatory masks. Glendale's supposed to have mandatory masks by the end of the day. Peoria is the holdout. They're like refused, but a lot of the cities around the valley, because the governor left it up to the individual cities.
I just went to a store in Peoria, and if it is the rule, nobody's following it.
Yeah,
I would say it's 15 to 20% are wearing masks. It's not a very high percentage.
Right.
I went to a PetSmart before the show because we were running out of food, so I had to make a quick run. Even the employees weren't wearing masks. Like one employee was wearing a mask. It's like, what the heck? Come on, people.
Matt, what's it like at the comic store? Are they wearing masks down there? What are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, most of the comic stores I frequent, their employees are wearing masks. Their masks are optional, have been optional for customers. With what happened with John to Comics and them having to close because they had a customer come in with COVID, I'm surprised more of them aren't making it mandatory, but it hasn't seemed to change that community much. Going forward, who knows with what the cities are passing, but it just feels like this whole thing, we're losing more and more freedom as American people. Like you have to wear masks now,
right?
And you don't want to smell your nasty breath, your own nasty breath.
Right.
Hey, I got an idea, gamer.
I understand it why though, but
comic nerds and everything.
Yeah.
Brush your teeth.
Yeah,
then you don't have to worry about it.
The Smash Brothers community will finally realize that they need to bathe if they have to wear masks.
That's true. We might end up at a positive after all this. I know the local game store, Imperial Outpost, they have they're pretty strict about it. So they don't have the game room. The game room's closed, so you can't play games there. When you go, it's masks are mandatory. When you go in, first thing you do is you got to go wash your hands before you can go touch product. So
nice.
So you walk in.
So it's not all just make a reservation, order your stuff, and then
no, it's open.
It's open.
And anyone can go in. It can be any number of people, but everybody has to wear a mask if you're inside, and you have to go wash your hands first thing when you go in. Okay. So, I mean, that's a lot, but it's you feel safer in there. I can pick up, because you go to a game store, that's what you manhandle everything you see, right?
Yeah.
You go to the new product shelf, you pick up everything, so I feel a little bit safer about that.
This is a blessing in disguise for introverts like me, because I may talk to people, millions of people through the podcast, but I don't want to talk to you face to face. So
right.
I can just be like, look, come bring me my thing to my car, and I'm going to drive away. I'm going to pay for it ahead of time. You bring it to my car, and I drive away.
That's
and
right.
We're good. Less interaction, the better.
I mean, to be honest with you, it is kind of nice. Like Doug loves it to be working from home and not having to. It's a perfect excuse. You don't have to make excuses not to go anywhere. It's like, oh, I'd love to come over, but the COVID.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
Matt's getting heckled in the chat.
Yeah.
Sure I am.
Oh, it's Corbin. Yes.
Yep. It is Corbin. Or Corbin.
Charlie Tango says masks are mandatory at his game store in Chicago.
That's good.
Nice.
They're
well, what about
smarter.
Now,
the
because
Wild
of the
West here.
True, yeah, we're like crazy with the recent rise in cases. What about the reopening plans? Do you think they're going to be affected? Do you think there's going to be is this a second wave, or
nobody cares?
Nobody.
Yeah. It's amazing. I can't believe the people are just like, Matt, whatever.
Yeah. True.
Just the fact that our governor here in Arizona, passed it off to the cities means that he doesn't want to be the one to take the political flack from putting another lockdown in place. True. Even if it's the right thing to do to stop the spread.
Right.
Because we've already figured out that many, not all, many businesses can operate with order it, have a reservation, go pick it up. Restaurants have been doing, restaurants that are more like counter service and stuff like that. You can do carry out, you can do to go pretty easily. I guess some of the more fancy ones that rely on, sit down customers, I don't know that it's monetarily feasible for them to open with social distancing anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard from people in the profession that you have to have 3/4 capacity before you reach break even.
Yeah.
So
we went to me and Heather went to our breakfast the other day. Went early in the morning. Figured it wouldn't be a whole lot of people, which there wasn't, thank goodness. We went to our place around the corner from our house, Ollie's Omelet House or whatever, and like all the tables are gone in like the middle. Like they have like the outline, and then they have like 4 tables in the middle, and that's it. So it was like you can't sit next to somebody in that place. So
that's good.
That was nice. But I'm looking around. I'm like, even if this place was packed, I don't know how they can make money. I mean, I guess it's takeaway, like you said. People coming and getting takeaway because at full capacity, because that place used to be packed for breakfast.
Yeah.
But it's still weird because I went to my first time going to a restaurant last Saturday, and went to Chili's, and it's still weird seeing waiters in masks and gloves and those protections, because like you're still in that mindset where you're like, ugh, get away from me, sickie. You're in that mindset that the person wearing the mask is the sick one,
right,
and it's like, get away from me, with your disease. And it's like, all right, maybe that's not the case, and it's hard changing that frame of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. It is. I mean, you do see someone in a mask, you automatically assume like, okay, they're sick or something like that. I don't know. My son, we were in the grocery store the other day, and he like freaked out on somebody. He somebody came up and tapped him on his shoulder, and he's like, "Oh, don't touch me," because he's like super paranoid about this. And I don't know why. He's like young and healthy, but
Was he wearing a mask?
He was wearing a mask. Yep.
What, the
He
person
doesn't-
who touched him wearing a
No,
mask?
no.
Yeah, it was, don't touch
No.
me. Get the hell away from me.
Yeah, don't touch
What
me.
are you doing?
Like James, when he goes to the store, he's got the mask on. He's got the hand sanitizer in his pocket. Everything he touches, he sanitizes his hands. I'm like, man, kid. I'm the one who's immunocompromised, and he's like all worried about it.
Just walk with Lysol, like just
Yeah.
Lysol shooters and a tool belt, and just spin around spraying Lysol as you go.
That's right. I told him, carry Lysol. The next time somebody taps you on the shoulder, just spray him. Just hit the shoulder.
I mean, I use that to my advantage. That's one of my favorite things about this is like you're at a grocery store, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about it on my show. My pet peeve is like people are right on your backside with their carts when you're in line at Walmart, and you turn on and be like, dude, 6 feet, bro, back up.
Back up.
It's marked on the floor. Back up. I don't like people being all up on my business.
Nice. Well, I tell you what, there is a lot of changes going on there. Everything's been canceled, but it's not just restaurants. We're talking about conventions here. Convention season is coming up, and pretty much all of them have been canceled, including Emerald City Comic Con. It just got canceled yesterday, I believe, right?
Not Phoenix Fan Fusion.
Not Phoenix Fan Fusion. No, because they don't care.
Nope.
I'm like, yeah, number one in the country for COVID. Yeah, we're gonna have Phoenix Fan Fusion. Oh, we'll see. We'll see who shows up to Phoenix Fan Fusion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how can you have a convention when all the celebrities are gonna be like, nope, I'm not going to your germ factory.
You want on the show? What's going on?
Corbin. Corbin has some words for you, Matt. Matt's real pet peeve is happiness and children.
Yeah.
Also smiling families and sunny skies.
That's right. All of it. Don't bring your happiness around me.
So Matt, you going to Fan Fusion when it comes when you put on your hazmat suit? And...
Yeah, sure. Why not? Follow the direction of everyone else in Phoenix. COVID's over.
Over.
Go do your thing. Go do what you got to do.
Just put on a hazmat suit and 2 cans of Lysol. Just head into it.
As long as they have speed dating, Corbin will be there. So that'll be 2 people there.
That's true. Corbin, you get to speed dating. So we don't have a chance to date a bunch of nerds at once.
So everybody
I feel
dressed up like AIM.
The penguin thing, like I backed myself in a corner there, and then I made this giant stink about San Diego. So now if they have Fan Fusion, I don't go. I feel like I'm obligated to.
We're gonna have
There's
to
just
now.
Obligation.
Yeah. This weekend should have been Origins in Columbus. We'll get to the Origin story, Charlie Tango. That's a little bit later. Talk about the cancellation of Origins, but Star Wars Celebration was canceled. Star Wars Celebration 2020. And it wasn't just canceled. Pretty much they're just not doing it for, they only do it, every 2 years? Or
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we're not getting it till 2022 now. So they're not just putting it off or delaying it. They're just canceling it.
Is it every 2 years or every other year? I thought it was every other year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Every other year? So, yeah.
Correct. Yes. Every
Well,
even number year.
Right. So there's 2022 would be the next one. So that's a bummer, especially with all these new Disney Plus Star Wars projects being announced.
Yeah.
But hoping to see something there. But for those of us, those of you people that go to Comic-Con every year, good news. Comic-Con at Home is July 22nd through 26th, and it's going to be open for everybody. So everybody can go to Comic-Con at Home. However, we're not exactly sure who's going to be there yet. In fact, they've been saying for a month now, there'll be announcements coming up about what exactly is going to go going on with Comic-Con at Home, and we're still a month away. We still have no announcement of who's going to be there. We know who's not going to be there. It's going to be DC's not going to be there. Warner Brothers is going to be there, but we'll get to that in a minute.
I think Robert Kirkman came out today and said he's going to be there.
Robert Kirkman's going to be there?
He's going to do a panel for Comic-Con at Home.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're going to have...
They're going to finally hang up the shingle, hang up the pin for... he's Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is he probably finally going to say enough is enough and stop butchering his own work?
He already ended the comic. Who knows?
Did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he ended the comic last year, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, other than there's a couple things, but they're not on the official page. There's like nothing. You still go to the official page and it's like, Announcements will be coming soon, and last updated was like over a month ago. But yeah, there's going to be online exhibit hall where they're all the con exclusives because everybody ordered specialized con merchandise that they ordered that way in advance. So they're going to have all that available still. Plus, normal merch. It's going to be online panels for TV and movies and comics. They're going to do an online masquerade, which is interesting.
Wait. The last update on all of this stuff you're talking about was a month ago.
Just not quite a month ago, but yeah.
For a convention that's supposed to happen in a month from now?
Yes.
Sure, it's going to go off with flying colors.
I'm sure. I mean, yeah, it was only It was only not quite 2 months ago when they announced that they were going to do it. They finally canceled it. Yeah. And then announced that they were going to do something. Well, they announced they were going to do something. Then about a month ago, they announced Comic-Con at home, kind of, fleshing out what it's going to be. But again, all this is kind of like, thrown together last minute. Out of all this, sounds like DC is the one that's got it down, or at least the most prepared for this. But, I mean, Comic-Con, the online masquerade seems kind of interesting to me because it's going to be live, like people in their homes dressed up, because that, could lead to, I don't know, wardrobe malfunctions. I don't know. We'll see what happens going on. Once you let anybody in from your house, yeah. That's gonna me. I'm just gonna body paint myself and
dude. I'm telling you, that's our calling, the Penguin Brothers. We gotta do it again.
just
finally get you in on it.
A Speedo and body paint in the masquerade. Like
first place right there.
That's right. We should. Yeah. They're also going to provide badges too, so you can print them out and wear badges. So you can feel like, look, see, I went to Comic-Con the year everybody could go.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man. So Comic-Con, but Warner Brothers, like I said, is not going to be there. DC Fandom is going to do their own thing. DC Fandome, August 22nd, and about a month after Comic-Con at home. And they listed on their site, they got a whole bunch of stuff listed. So we're going to see new footage and new announcements from Warner Brothers games, film, and TV, and comics, as well as unprecedented opportunity to hear from the cast and creators behind your favorite feature films and TV, including, Aquaman, the Batman, Batwoman, Black Adam, Black Lightning, DC Superhero Girls, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, DC Stargirl, Doom Patrol, The Flash, Harley Quinn, the Snyder Cut of Justice League, Lucifer, Pennyworth, Shazam, Suicide Squad, Supergirl, Superman, and Lois, Teen Titans, Go, Teen Titans, Titans, Watchmen, Young Justice, Outsiders, and coming this fall to theaters worldwide, Wonder Woman 1984. So I don't know how many the cast and creators are going to be of all that. I know the Snyder Cut. I know Henry Cavill and Snyder's going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of the Arrowverse or Berlantiverse, what do you want to call it? Those actors and creators are going to be there. So, but yeah, it's going to be split up into like several different DC universes or whatever. Doug, you want to go through read some of these?
The clever names of DC Watchverse, DC Uverse, DC Kidsverse, all these.
Yeah,
nice. Okay, so Watchverse will be. You can sit back and join our virtual audience and become completely engrossed in hours of must-see content from around the world, everything from panels and exclusive screenings to never-before-seen footage featuring cast, creators, and behind-the-scenes crew from across DC films, TV, home entertainment, and games. So I guess your Blu-ray extras as a convention.
We're going to live stream this DC panel from 3 years ago at this convention.
Yeah.
You're going to watch it live here on our DCUverse convention.
Yeah, the hours of must-see content just seems like, are these just a bunch of Blu-ray extras? Are these like Blu-ray extra rejects? What are we talking here? So that's one of them. And then you got the DCUverse. Venture into a world where the fans are the stars and see the most amazing user-generated content, cosplay, and fan art from around the world, including perhaps your own. So that one's interesting, I guess. As far as, let's see some fan art and cosplay. That'll be interesting. you want me to keep going through all of them? All right.
Give us the verses.
Sure. We got the DC Kids verse. Need a way to entertain your kid for hours.
I love how that's how they're selling it. You want to sit your kid in front of the TV for.
So we've got it covered inside a special world, which can be accessed directly at DCKidsFandome.com. So also features a broad range of family-friendly activations for our younger fans. I don't know what you mean by activations there, or what they meant.
This is all cut and paste from their site, so this is them.
Interesting. So, all right, then we got DC Insiderverse. This creativity-based world contains a centerpiece video featuring legendary artist and DC CCO and publisher Jim Lee, president of DC-based film productions Walter Hamada, and creator of the DC TV Arrowverse, executive producer Greg Berlanti, welcoming fans with a 101-style introduction to the DC multiverse. From there, go behind the scenes with the master artisans who bring DC to life in all of its forms, from comic books, TV, movies, theme parks, consumer products, and more. That's probably the most interesting to me, because I love Jim Lee, and I'll watch anything he's involved in. And the idea of a 101-style introduction to the DC multiverse, especially with all of the changes it's gone through in the last 5 years, might be a nice little refresher. Then we got the DC Funverse. Take your DC Fandome experience and gather cool shareables. Check out our comic book reader, DIY cool Wonder Woman 84 golden armor and Batmobile kits, plus digital giveaways and a store filled with merchandise, including some limited edition exclusives. And then, what's that?
Is this enticing any of you to join this? Are you guys going to go to either one of these?
No.
You going to be watching either one of these things?
I mean, where is Disney Fandom going to be? That's one thing we've got lacking here in our write-up.
Where is it? It's virtual. It's just going to be at home.
Is it like DCFandom.com?
It's going to have DCFandom.com, where it's going to have a central hub, and then you can go to the different verses, spread out from there.
Okay. So, the only thing that seems in any way interesting to me is the Insiderverse. I'll watch that intro video, but I'm not really interested in going much past that.
What about you, Matt? Anything seem at least interesting?
No. I mean,
yeah.
The Arrow, it's hard to say because the Arrowverse stuff would have been interesting, but I've kind of fallen off those shows. After Crisis, it's kind of like I've lost interest a little bit.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean. Need to go watch the cast, talk about behind the scenes stuff. And like I joked about before, I don't need to see footage from 6 cons ago, brought here for this, or if they were maybe enticing you something with ooh, come check out the small clip of what we've already shot for the Batman, or come check out this set photos of Zoe Kravitz in her Catwoman suit, or things like that to entice you. Like, this is what we started doing before the COVID shutdown. Then maybe I'd be a little bit more enticed, but you're leading with your kid stuff, your Arrowverse stuff, and your Snyder Cut. And I think everyone knows already how I feel about the Snyder Cut.
Right.
So,
well, plus, what are they going to talk about the Snyder Cut until we actually see it? Yeah. They've been talking about it for 5 years, right? I mean, it's like, we really wanted to do this
for it. This little teaser for it the other day, but it wasn't anything.
Teasing Darkseid.
Spectacular.
Yeah. Now, as the only non-white person on the panel, I feel like I need to point out they're going to also have one more thing: the Blurred and Bougie House, celebrating Black nerd culture, returned with all new Blurred and Bougie House at DC Fandom, bringing Blurreds, Latin geeks, and all nerds with party with a purpose vibe, which I don't know what that means. I don't know why, why don't only black people get the cool nerd names, Blurreds? Like, why don't,
I would.
Latin geeks.
Time for you to coin your own Native American
one? Yeah.
Geek one. Come on. You're on the spot. Do it now.
Savage Geeks. I don't know.
This could go south incredibly fast.
Hey, you know, I'd wear it proud. With Savage Geek shirt. That's right. In fact, now I have a new idea for a new shirt. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, look at all this. I mean, it's a great idea. They want to do something. It's a way to get the merchandise they've already paid for the year for you to buy the special merch they always do every year. But other than that, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not, because the movies and everything's got pushed off. I'm not really, there's nothing that's really enticing, you know?
Yeah.
Charlie Tango says Nerd Originals. That's right. First Nation nerds.
First Nation nerds. Did you see Corbin's question? How do you all feel about the end of DC Daily? I don't know how to feel because I don't know what DC Daily is.
Who cares?
There you have it.
Matt.
Matt succinctly put it. That's how we feel.
Who cares?
Oh my goodness. Well, there you have it, guys. The convention season is still happening, despite. Is there any other conventions besides Phoenix Fan Fusion that's actually going to happen, or is it just?
Well,
I thought Emerald City was a holdout for the longest time, but they just canceled.
Yeah, Emerald City's usually in March. That got postponed, and then and then they just canceled the postponement, so they officially canceled Solid. I know that there was a convention in Tampa Bay that said they were still going to go forward. I haven't heard anything since then. I think it was this month or next month. They said they were going to still go forward.
The two places with the number 1 and number 2 resurgence of COVID.
Like I said before, I'm still, as far as I know from insider sources, aka Corbin, they're still planning on going forward with Phoenix Fan Fusion. He's contacted them to make sure they specifically have geek speed dating if they're going to be open. He's said that they're still planning to go, and I know Sabo in downtown is still planning to go. So who knows?
Yeah,
on the gaming front, SoCal Open's still on the books for October.
Is it? They're still going to do SoCal?
Yeah, and they're going to do the LVO Las Vegas Open in January, February, whichever it is.
I don't know if I want to go. I mean,
nah.
I love Las Vegas Open. I love going to the Las Vegas Open. Yeah. This is fun. This is the West Coast Adepticon basically for gaming. Yeah, but I don't think I'm going this year.
Just mask up. You'll be all right.
Just mask up. Hazmat suit. Yeah. Charlie Tango says Origin supposedly moved to Columbus Day weekend, but we'll see. We'll talk about Origins here in a minute and why they canceled. But yeah, I mean, that leads us into our next story, which is how cancel cultures hit the game table. It's going to be a little controversial here, but at a time where schools are being renamed, brands like Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's are changing names and logos, Wizards of the Coast has decided to change the problematic items from D&D and Magic the Gathering as well, which some of it I agree with, some of it is just seems crazy to me. Yeah. I don't know whether it's because I'm an old man and I don't get this, but some of it just seems really, really strange. Let's start off with D&D because it seems like the most ridiculous of what's going on here. So remember a few weeks back when they had some blogger came out and said how orcs are racist, right? Because they represent, how they were like their nature, they're naturally evil and they can't be, good people. And because,
they're violent and whatnot.
They're violent. And it was because of their race, not society or whatever, which was odd. And then some people equated that to blaming Tolkien for equating black people with orcs, which was odd because
absolutely not what he did.
That was absolutely that was wrong.
If anything, they were the Western civilizations that were embracing industrialization,
right?
So
like, if you want a Tolkien scholar,
opposite,
yeah, they were Germans.
Yeah,
but yeah, so it's really odd. But so for some reason, Wizards of the Coast decided to take this seriously at this point because everybody else, of all the changes going on, they decided to take this seriously. What was a punchline before, like a month ago, is now they're taken serious, and now they're making changes because of it. So they're going to be changing the way Drow and Orcs are represented in all the reprints and future work to make them more good and more diverse of character, because they were problematic because they were both evil and dark-skinned, which, I mean, they're fantasy races. They're not real. I don't know if they're... This is kind of like... It's a role-playing game. They're bad guys to fight in a role-playing game.
Right.
You know? So that's strange right off the bat. They're going to be changing that. And they're reprinting all the, Player's Handbook and all these books like that with these changes in mind. And then all future publications are changing.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, the Drow, at the very least, you can go, well, why is your specifically evil race black? Just because didn't they used to be a long time ago like albino?
No, they were always charcoal skin.
Were they always like? Okay.
White hair.
For some reason, I equated them with albinos at one point, but I don't remember why.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't another fantasy work, but yeah. So,
well, in Dragonlance, dark elves are white.
Oh, are they?
Okay. They're not any different colored. Actually, they're just dark elves because they're the evil ones.
Because they're evil. Okay.
Yeah, but that was just one.
So the orc one is stupid. Drow. Okay, fine. I'll give it to you.
Give me the Drow. And what about this one? The Curse of Strahd, which is based on. It's a campaign based on Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula. So Strahd is the great vampire protagonist, and they have the Vistani in there, which were from the novel Gypsies, which is now problematic. So now they're the Romani people. So because they resemble stereotypes associated with Romani people, they're going to be changing them. So, but I mean, the whole point with those, they represented the Gypsies from the Bram Stoker book.
Yeah.
Right. But they're changing them, which is fine. I mean, that one doesn't really bother me as much.
Yeah, I don't have
it just seems like a strange change. But they are hiring sensitivity readers for all reprints and future publications. So now, if you're a sensitive person, I'm
gonna apply for this job.
You're gonna apply for a job. Well, you can't get the job right now, Doug, because there's a ban on hiring. I can. There's a ban on hiring white writers and staff for the moment. They didn't say for how long, but right now they're banning. They're not hiring any. Doesn't matter what kind of writing talent you have. They're not hiring.
They need more blurs on staff.
They need more blurs, apparently. Or
one of the requirements that you have to read it from your safe space.
You got to read. They got a pillow room that you go in there and you read. Were you offended by this module at all when you're fighting dragons? What about dragons? Dragons are different colored. Why are they? They're going to stop that. All dragons are going to be one color now.
Why stop at D&D? Officially launch it here. I'm going after Blizzard. Night elves, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No more World of Warcraft. No more night elves. That's right. Racist.
It is very racist. They're all blue skinned. Yeah, it's just it's fantasy. When they come after fantasy, I understand reality, right? We get it. I don't know who disagrees with reality, but fantasy.
There's a lot of people who disagree with reality.
Well, you don't want your orc to be evil. Don't play him evil.
Exactly. It's a role playing game.
Exactly.
It's like
theater of the mind, people.
Right.
If you think something is racist because of the way it's portrayed, maybe you're the one that's got the problem, and you should look internally. Right. Not at the product. I mean, come on now.
If you see an orc and you think a black person, maybe you're the racist person.
Right.
I mean, just maybe. I'm just saying, because that's not what I see. But yeah, so that's crazy. So D&D, it's diversity in dragons now, because Dungeons also, problematic probably. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna get into this thing. It's like as a fat hairy man, I think the way they've been representing halflings in this game, I personally take offense. I think they're problematic. Their projection of halflings in the game. Fat hairy man. Oh my goodness.
Fat and hairy.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, short fat people. There's I don't know. It's just crazy. Now, Magic the Gathering, they've banned a bunch of what they consider racist cards from the game. Some of these, I'm like, all right, fine. I don't play Magic anymore, so it doesn't really bother me at all. But some of these I can see. The ones they've banned so far is Invoke Prejudice, Cleanse, Stone Throwing Devils, Prodish Gypsies, Jihad, Imprison, and Crusade. So those are the problematic racist cards they've got rid of. Now, the one I want to everyone's pointing out to is because of a happenstance on the numbering of this card. It's Invoke Prejudice. It was singled out because there's a hooded figure. The power of the card is it counters cards of a different color than yours. So, yeah.
This comes across as a trolling card where it was specifically made
right
to trigger people.
It's specifically made to trigger people, right? And then the card is also number 1488 on the online registry, a number used by white supremacists.
Why is that number used by white supremacists?
Without us getting flagged here, there's the 8 is the H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. So 88 and then 14. For those two different reasons, those numbers are used. Not by the actual Nazis, but by modern white supremacists. So, but yeah, the coincidence of the fact that it was number 1488 was that card. I mean, maybe it was a coincidence. I can't imagine that someone did that on purpose.
Oh no, I think they did. I think they totally did it. Yeah, it was totally.
That was a trolling card from the very beginning.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Matt, have you ever played Magic the Gathering? Or...
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about them banning these cards?
I just think this whole thing is dumb. Honestly, the whole thing is dumb. Like, yeah. It's a card, people. It's a card for God's sakes, you know?
Right. There's 5 colors in the game. Some cards counter colors. I mean, certain colors. I mean, it just, yeah. I mean, they're trying to equate real world with fantasy, and it's just, I don't know.
Like I said, with D&D, at some point you gotta quit placing the blame on the product and look internally. Like, if you think there's a problem with orgs, like take a look in the mirror, because I think it's you. It's not the game.
Yeah,
it's you.
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Because I know you as a DM. I don't think you sit there and you go, okay, so you're a half orc. You've got to be green, or you've got to be this color. You can establish whatever you want. That's why you make your character. You build your character. You design your character. You know, you can have them be rainbow for all. Why? It's ridiculous.
Right. And like Charlie Tango said, there are a few things like gypsies that could use a name change because it's a derogatory term.
Yes, absolutely.
But there are some people that still call themselves gypsies, you know. But the main, what we think of gypsies are Romani people. Obviously, you know, I can see that. I mean, I said I don't care a lot of these things, but when they start getting into this, starts changing the D&D stuff, I'm like, I don't know. The fantasy, when it's stuff that doesn't exist in real life, when it's you know, like those were based after gypsies in real life, right? But orcs and drow don't exist in real life. They're fantasy completely. But I don't know. But, you know, in the game industry, there's a lot of people a lot of game manufacturers who agree with this kind of thing, because let's get on into Origins here. Charlie Tango said Origins was canceled, and it was because, let's see here, we get into this here. Gamma, the Game Manufacturers Association, had to cancel Origins online because a number of participants pulled out of the event because Gamma was silent about the Black Lives Matter protests because they didn't say anything about it. The Game Manufacturers Association didn't say anything about it. A lot of these manufacturers pulled out of the convention. And then Gamma came out and said, here's a quote here, they unequivocally condemn racism and violence against people of color. But they said it was too late. It was too late making that statement. It was too late in making that statement they didn't make it with enough force early on. So, I mean, yeah. And so now Origins is now gone on to offer full refunds and pledging to match anyone's refund that wants to donate it to Black Lives Matter Global Network. So now they're going to be matched that refund if you want to donate your refund. If you want to donate your refund, they'll match it. Okay. But I mean, what do we think about this? I mean, this is little. They people pull out because they didn't say. Is it their place to say something at this point? Is the Game Manufacturing Association, is that their? I mean, I know how I feel about the subject, right? I know how I feel about, you know, the protests and everything else. But I mean, is it their responsibility? Do they because they didn't say anything. I mean, what are we? I don't want us to touch this one. I get it. That's fine.
I mean, it's.
It's a
I mean,
slippery
look. I
slope.
guess.
Yeah, it is. It's a slippery slope because where do you? Yeah, you don't want to say. I agree. I disagree because Yeah, it just seems to me like. I mean, I understand wanting to point it out, like, hey, well, want to say something, but they did come out and make a statement, right? But I don't know.
Well, it sounds like they made the statement after people pointed out that they didn't and were leaving because of it.
True.
I mean, to be fair, those people who pulled out because they didn't say anything are free to do so. That's,
Absolutely.
that's their prerogative if they didn't want to do it. And I guess as in everything else an association does, the people who are on the board should have talked about it. And then if a majority of the people said, yes, we want to make a statement, then make a statement. If the majority of people didn't say, decided they didn't want to, then they don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, Roger Goodell made a statement for, football, but I bet you a lot of the owners didn't want him to make that statement, but he made it anyways.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it just seems. I mean, I get it. I understand why you'd want them to make a statement. I'm just saying, it's just,
Why do you need to though?
Exactly. That's my point.
Why do you need to make a statement? Because why isn't it okay with not bringing attention to yourself? I think by making the statement, you're bringing the attention to yourself instead of where it needs to be focused. You could be someone who donates hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to the NAACP or any kind of charities like that. And now you're getting ousted because you didn't come out and post on social media that you're against racism.
It seems like there's a no-win situation here in the fact that a lot of people are saying, like, we don't want to hear from celebrities at this point. We don't care what they have to say on the subject. It's what the people have to say is more important, right? But at the same time, manufacturers and companies like this who don't say anything, right, get in trouble for it. It seems kind of strange. I mean, it's like
there is a difference, and let me argue that the difference point. A celebrity as an individual represents themselves, and they may employ a minority person. They may, a person of color might be on their staff, but maybe not. Who knows? But an organization like the Game Manufacturers Association probably has many businesses that are run by and employ people of color who want to know that they're supported at that level. So that's why you see a lot of corporations coming out. Now, I think that an association like this is a little different than an individual company coming out and saying it,
right?
Because they speak for their company. The president, the CEO, whatever, they speak for their company, and they're
the Gamma is just a collection of like game store owners and manufacturers that get together and put together a couple conventions and stuff like that. Right. And share news and tips and stuff like that on running businesses. So it doesn't, it seems like it's a little bit different. Like, I agree if it was like a, normal, like a manufacturer came out and said, hey, but I don't know. Just throwing it out there. This is what is,
that was the consequence one way or the other, whatever.
Yeah. This is what happened. Origins got canceled. Maybe it's coming back later in the year. We're not sure. But
I mean, honestly, who wants to go to a game, a first look game convention that's all online, that you can't go play demos of the games or whatever? I'm like, much like the other virtual conventions, I'm like, I wouldn't have cared.
Right. I mean,
Gamma was fun when we went the time with Chris, and we got to go check out all of the new games coming out and play demos of them and stuff like that. That's an amazing experience. But just watching it online, be like, meh.
Origins is a little bit different than Gamma. Origins is like as we're Gamma, the Gamma trade show in Vegas, or now Reno, it's actually just game manufacturers showing off the new product, right? And it's to retailers mainly, right? So if you own a game store or a comic store, you go to Gamma and you get to check out all the new product. Origins is an end user convention. So as an end user, you can go there and play the new games and stuff like that. So that's why Origins, it tends to be a little more popular and bigger, because you as a gamer can go there and try out new games and check it out.
Would you as a gamer want to go to a convention that you don't get to do that? Then
No,
all you
that's
do is watch panels and see it.
Right. Which is why I'm saying Gamma would actually make more sense, because as a manufacturer, you can see all the new product right online, as opposed to Origins where you're going there to play the games. So, but anyway, there you have it, folks. Lots of crazy news, but now it's time for Nerd Nuggets, our smaller stories. Let's see here.
I still want to know what kind of dipping sauce goes with Nerd Nuggets.
Pretty much, I'm going to say ranch.
I was expecting like a zesty Chick-fil-A sauce.
Zesty Chick-fil-A, yeah, like a Polynesian sauce or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, truly, it's everybody flavored to their taste, pretty much.
Maybe a little horseradish, something that stings the nostrils.
Right, exactly. A little something. Let's take a look at those Nerd Nuggets do look delicious, though.
I do.
Dang it. Now I'm gonna have to get Wingstop for
chili,
gaming tomorrow.
There you go. Sweet chili.
Sweet chili. Ben, you're a genius. All right. Let's kick it off with the Nerd Nuggets here. This weekend only, HBO is offering all 9 episodes of Watchmen for free on the HBO website. So, there's your chance. If you've not checked out Watchmen, it's I've actually not checked it out yet. Matt, have you seen it?
I have.
Like, I'm not playing D&D tomorrow.
No, you're not playing it. You got to watch it. Gonna be with Watchmen instead.
Just
I
kidding.
have. It's a good series. I definitely recommend checking it out.
Yeah, I heard it was good. It's just I've not I haven't had HBO for a while now. Maybe it's the reason.
It looked visually awesome. The commercials and the trailers I've seen for it, I was just like, wow, that looks freaking cool.
Yeah.
They captured the world really well.
Right, exactly. And now is your weekend to check it out. If you haven't thrown down for HBO Max yet, you can actually check it out for free this weekend. And then maybe pick up HBO Max if you like it.
Cool.
All right, Doug. What's next?
New Star Wars animated series for Disney Plus announced, featuring the Bad Batch. Takes place after the Siege of Mandalore and will have appearances from Ahsoka and Captain Rex, which would also tend to suggest that, well, I mean, it's obviously going to be post Order 66.
I was going to say, this has to be after Order 66, because Order 66 happens right after the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah.
So the Bad Batch clones get out of, because they're genetic defects.
Yeah.
They
So
don't have the
maybe
Order 66.
maybe the chip doesn't work on them. Who knows?
That's probably the
One would presume that if they're going to get their show, they don't follow Order 66.
It's a show about them killing Jedi. It's going around hunting Jedi down.
Well, and the weird thing is they didn't really interact with the Jedi very much, so they wouldn't really have the opportunity to execute Order 66 on it. So maybe they're just doing their thing, and Ahsoka and Rex show up and take their chips out prior to them ever running into any Jedi. Who knows? But anyways, I'm torn here.
I was going to say, are you excited about this? Because you're the big Star Wars fan.
I love Clone Wars, but the Bad Batch is kind of... It's like watching the Expendables. It's fun once, but after once, you're just like, okay, I got it. They're these they're the cliches from action movies or whatever. They're led by Rambo, and they've got whatever.
Right.
Super strong guy, super smart guy, super sniper guy.
Led by Rambo.
Led by Rambo. So that's it. That's all you got. So I'm not sure how excited I am. I mean, I'll watch it.
I was going to say, you're
Wars.
a Disney Plus fanboy. You're going to watch this.
Well, and I'm a Clone Wars fanboy. I love all of
Right.
the Clone Wars stuff. So even the episodes that aren't the greatest are still pretty good. especially compared to what we've got lately from Star Wars. So
That's true. Matt, are you a Clone Wars fan?
Yeah, I liked Clone Wars. I don't know how much I'm excited for the Bad Batch and cartoons and all that, but I mean, anything Ahsoka and Rex, sign me up, right?
That's true. Yeah. I was gonna say, I love how they mentioned that Ahsoka and Rex could turn up because a lot of people like Matt. Ahsoka and Rex is in it. I'll check it out.
yeah, I can't wait for them to get a show.
Oh yeah.
I want to see them live action. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The final season of Clone Wars did her so well. It's to the point now when I watch Star Wars, I'm like, man, why couldn't have George Lucas thought of Ahsoka back when this started? Because Luke is such a whiny little, punk, and she's so cool, and
Right.
Although
it should have been
she
about
started
her and
off-
Vader's relationship, not the father-son relationship. Like, that
Right.
was so much cooler.
She did start off a little.
She
No,
started
I
off
know.
pretty annoying.
Yeah.
So I
But
think
I agree with you though. Ahsoka, that relationship was, I don't know. Clone Wars are such a unique spot because it actually made those crappy movies good.
But that's character growth, but Luke kind of started whiny and has kind of stayed whiny all the way up
Right.
until the Rise of Skywalker. So it's I don't know.
Last Jedi did him dirty, man. Last
Yeah.
Jedi did him dirty.
yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the spunk. Doug's favorite subject. You love the spunk?
I thought I washed it off.
Yeah. You got to deal with spunk. Everybody has to a little bit here. So the Sony, what is spunk
Sony
stand?
Pictures Universe of
Or-
Marvel characters or something like that.
Yeah.
The worst acronym ever.
Yeah.
They might be listening to us, Doug, because we're talking about their movies and how they have actually good characters to work with, and they've been
Okay.
giving us a bunch of crappy ones.
If that
right.
is the case, change your name of your universe.
Change your name. Yeah, spunk is awful, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost as bad and almost as fitting as a DCFU. All right, so they announced that they're have a Jessica Drew SpiderWoman movie. Now,
Fine.
when this first news came out, everyone was thinking it was going to be part of the Madam Web movie because apparently early reports said it was going to be Julia Carpenter version of Spider-Woman, which later becomes Madam Web, a version of Madam Web. So they thought that was going to be like the start of the character was because I think people were just trying to make sense of a Madam Web movie because
There's no
really,
sense.
why else would you watch a Madam Web movie? But no, they're two separate things. Madam Web exists and a Jessica Drew Spider-Woman. But finally, an announcement from Sony about a Spider character movie that I'm actually somewhat excited about.
Yeah, that I would actually care about.
I mean, it's Sony, so I'm not saying I'm excited about it, but it's, has the best chance of me caring about the character.
Yes. Yeah.
Matt, what do you think?
I'm down for Spider-Woman. I think honestly they're missing the boat here. If you want to do this whole expanded universe, why aren't you going Spider-Gwen? Why aren't you all over Spider-Gwen or Silk or
Miles
some
Morales.
of these characters that are right in the forefront of pop culture right now? And instead you're kind of going Spider-Woman, and then you're going to be like, well, what version of Spider-Woman? And it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're
She's pretty
reaching.
disconnected from the rest of the Spider-Man universe
Yeah.
currently. She's an Avenger. She's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
we've said that many times. Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Silk.
Silk.
There's a
Any
bunch
of them would be better than Morbius or Madam Web or, Silver Sable or any of the, crazy stuff that they're doing. I'm like, why would you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Spider-Gwen would rock Charlie Tango.
I mean, it
agree.
would make sense to have Spider-Woman matched up with Madam Web because I believe they're related. I believe she is the granddaughter of Madam Web. So, it
They're
makes
connected,
sense,
yeah.
but she's
Madam
not
Web
really
does not need her own movie.
right.
That's
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no problem with her being a character in a
She's an
spunk
antagonist,
movie, but
she should not have her own movie.
I'm just like crazy. Yeah, and like you said, you pointed out if they're not going to let Marvel have Peter Parker, they have a ton of awesome characters that they can actually use, and they give us like Morbius. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Morbius has some interesting things about it, but I think he could handle it. I don't know so much about like Jackpot.
Yeah,
I don't know why
Jackpot
that-
seems.
It's like they're just throwing things at a dartboard and be like, all right, here's all the spider characters we have access to. And we're going to spin around 3 times and throw that dart. Oh, Madam Web, here we go. That's our next movie, you know?
Yeah, it does. It seems like that way because, I mean, what doesn't make any sense otherwise, but.
But you leave Black Cat and Silver Sable on the table and like, no, we're going to move away from that, or Spider-Gwen, or it's...
This reeks of, well, 1, desperation. 2, you find a director that has done maybe something decent who remembers collecting comic books as a kid, and they had that one character like, oh, I want to know more about this character, Madam Web. I thought she was so cool. And now that they're a director who has had some success behind them, they're like, I want to make a Madam Web movie. And they're like, sweet, go for it. We've got a director to us with an idea. That's what it sounds like. I mean, because how an executive committee who supposedly does all kinds of market research, are we going to make our money back on this? How they would think any of these characters are going to make them money, I've got no idea.
It's almost like they looked at it and they're like, all right, well, people are saying Venom. How can we do it without Spider-Man? Morbius, how can we do it without Spider-Man? Hold my beer. Let's go Madam Web without Spider-Man. This is how we're going to do this. Let's just keep this game going. And that's what it feels like. It's a game at this point.
Right, yeah. Like,
let's see how much further we can push it before people are just done completely.
Let me know when I get to the Paste Pot Pete movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last little nugget we have. Disney Plus is casting for a new character. The casting is a deaf female, Native American, First Nations, Indigenous, or Latinx. How do you spell that? Latin with an X on it again? 18 or older. People are saying this has to be Echo because there's no, who else would it be, right? Deaf, Native American, it's got to be Echo. And if it is Echo, does that mean this is for a Daredevil project? Seeing how it's pretty much a Daredevil character.
I'm hearing more so Hawkeye.
Hawkeye? Really?
Because
it makes sense. Yeah.
The post for the job said that they have to be able to screen test in sign language. So they have to be able to say their lines in sign language. And it's for a TV show that's set to start shooting this fall. And so Hawkeye is the one that's on slate for this fall. So a lot of people are thinking they're going to go with the Kate Bishop coming in, they're going to go Matt Fraction, Deaf Hawkeye run. So you're going to get that Hawkeye where she can kind of teach him sign language, and it makes sense for Echo to be there in that storyline.
True. I mean, that does make a lot of sense. But at this point, do we need a deaf person? Do we have to have an actual deaf person to play a deaf person?
Diversity,
is that
Mike? Diversity.
That seems like that's less diversity. Isn't that less diverse having to make them deaf?
Roles too.
Yeah. I mean, knowing sign language is a must, but there's plenty of people that can hear it. I'm not saying they shouldn't hire a deaf person. I'm just saying that seems like, we have to have someone who's deaf for
authenticity, man.
I guess that's true. They don't want they don't want something to drop on set and them turn around real quick. Like, I knew it. Knew it. Fake news. I don't know. I think people are just like clamoring for Daredevil in the MCU. So every time there's a chance, any kind of little brief nugget of news, it's like, oh, it's Daredevil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he comes. I think you're gonna get him soon.
Yeah. I think they get him back in 5 months or something like that.
It's hilarious. If they had not had that Netflix Daredevil show, any of these Daredevil like rumors or whatever, I'd be like, it's Daredevil, one of the worst characters in Marvel ever.
He was good in the 80s, Doug. Come on. He was real good in the 80s.
Was that when Miller was writing him?
Yeah. Yes.
Because
he was and he was pretty awful in the 90s. But
yeah,
from 86 to 92,
that's how
good was awesome.
That's how good that Netflix show was. That it took a Marvel character that I actively hated and made me like him. I was one of those people who like cheered when Punisher shot him. was like, yes. Take that.
You self-righteous blind guy.
Yeah, he was written very self-righteously at the times there.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the character though. But
Yeah, so
I just want finally. I mean, I love Charlie Cox. If Charlie Cox comes back as Daredevil, I'm not going to complain about that at all. But I always wanted a redheaded Daredevil like he is in the comics, right? Never once in his all the live actions version of him has he ever been, or even in the cartoon, he's never been a redhead.
all for redheads. Come on,
Yeah, so
gingers are being discriminated against.
they are being discriminated. They're all their parts are going to African Americans because
Forget deaf actors. What we need is more redheads.
we need more redheads.
More redheads in Hollywood. Start that movement, Mike. Start that movement.
Man, it's like the old days. No Irish need apply.
Yeah, we need more fat, hairy guys in Hollywood. That's what we need.
We got John Rice Davies. We're fine.
Nice.
He can have
All right,
of it.
guys. Well, that's going to about do it for us this week. Matt, thank you very much for coming on and joining
No
us.
problem. Had a good time, guys. Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. And we're going to be back next week with
Is that a threat or a promise?
both. It's both.
All right, cool.
Depending on who you are, you know who you are out there.
Right on.
But yeah, be sure to check us out if you want to listen to us at wherever you get your podcasts. This show will be up in 3 days, assuming we don't run out of space, and like we did last month. We'll be upset there. Those of you listening to us on Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this, check us out on youtube.com/The Grizzled Geek. And if you want to support us, support the show and the things we do here, we have 3 links down below. Doug, what are those?
Got our Teespring store where you can check out our cool merch. You know, if you see the thumbnail beneath us, you can see some of the shirts we're wearing.
Look for the Savage Geek shirt.
Yeah, Mike's gonna work.
You gotta make it. You gotta make it a
that.
thing now. Savage
Yep.
Geek.
Yeah.
Savage Geek.
We got our Patreon where you can check us out and support us directly. Or what's probably easiest and most useful to you right now is click on our Amazon affiliate link when you do those Amazon orders. Whatever you order within 24 hours of clicking that link, we get a small kickback. Doesn't cost you anything extra, so it's a great way to support us and get your masks or your alcohol wipes or your hand sanitizer or whatever else you're buying online.
I've been ordering
Pantry yourself some nerd nuggets.
That's right, nerd. I've been using it just like an extra discount. I'll be like ordering everything through that link. I'm like, all right, Amazon.
I think that's a missed opportunity for you guys. Nerd nuggets, man.
Nerd nuggets. That's our next. We gotta look into that, Doug. We got to find a brand our own.
Products.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.